Thanks, Raj. I have here with me on FaceTime with the CEO, which is the CEO of Alpine Return, Mr. Alan Koh. Mr. Alan, thank you for coming in this morning.
Thanks, Sukin.
Yeah. So I understand Alpine Return is actually developing something in central KL itself. Can you just tell a little bit more about yourself first, and then maybe about the project and the company you come from?
Okay, all right. Well, I represent the joint venture, which is basically Symphony Life and Alpine and Land. It's basically a 50-50 joint venture.
Okay.
And I've been actually in the property arena for the last 20 over years, developing mainly in the Asia region. The last project was SP Sitia project. It's at KL Eco City in Garden Mid Valley. So that was basically a $6 billion project that I've done, in the area of planning and investment. So that was where I left off. So now I'm into this very flamboyant project, which you can see in this color here.
Okay.
So this project is the inspiration which I drew is from the W Hotel. That's why you see this color here today. Very flamboyant and very colorful. Yeah. So I actually visited this W Hotel in Taiwan. So happened that I was there, on holiday, and I came across this because my friend invited me for a dinner over there, and that's how I drew my inspiration. And the development is a mixed development. It's comprising of residential 3 towers and also a retail component.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So W Hotel is very well known for its pure luxury of hotel accommodations. What should one expect at this Star Residences development?
Yeah, because W Hotel is very flamboyant, it's very colorful. It's a lot of so-called public areas. They use a lot of artwork, sculpture, etc. And in this project, we are going to inject a lot of this form of color as well. A lot of sexiness. In that form, and you'll see a lot of, for example, the so-called the lobby. It's going to be like hotel style. It's going to be 3-story high. And there's going to be a lot of contemporary wood paneling, as well as we're going to use some famous so-called paintings to put it in certain areas. And when you walk into the lobby, it's as if you're walking into a W Hotel environment.
Okay, wow, that sounds very interesting. Where exactly is this this development area going to be? Okay,
this is located in prime KLCC. In fact, it's right across the M Bank along Jalan Yap Kwan Sing, and it's about 2-minute walks to the Avenue K. Avenue K, so it's just a couple of minutes walk to Avenue K. From there, the LRT station is there as well, and there's also a tunnel that can conveniently walk to Surau KLCC. Shopping mall. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And what kind of investors are you looking at for this? Who are your target market?
Yeah, the target market mainly very urban, the young urbanites and people who are in their 40s to the 50s. There are also retirees because we have actually private preview. We had private preview about the last 2 weeks or so, and so far we had about 65% take-up rate. Yeah.
Wow, okay.
So the profile of this buyer mostly are in their 40s and some are retirees. So is that kind of profile for this development.
Okay, wow. Okay, so just looking at the pictures which you've shared with me just now, it seems like it's a very gorgeous development, I would have to say. And the 5 blocks, how many blocks would actually be for retail and how many blocks would be for residences?
Okay, majority of it will be residential. There are 3 blocks of high-end residential. The first tower we just previewed is 57-story. The second and third is 61-story. So all in all, it's 1,500 units
Okay.
That is the main bulk of the development, which is about 90% of it.
Yeah.
The rest of it basically is a 6-story commercial, F&B hub and also an entertainment hub which we are creating. Yeah. So mainly, I think in Malaysia so far there isn't such a concept all under one roof in terms of F&B, and also there's entertainment hub that we are creating right on top of the penthouse level.
Yeah.
At the same time, there's a rooftop as well. I think rooftop, currently whether it's in Traders Hotel, Luna Bar,
Yeah.
or elsewhere, the roof, so
a really
it's
chic, trendy
very
bar.
chic, trendy bar. So we are looking at creating some wine bar, some restaurants up at the rooftop, where you have unblocked view of Twin Towers. That's what we're looking at. One of the restaurants that we are creating is a Michelin star restaurant.
The first in Malaysia.
The first in Malaysia. I think in Malaysia so far you won't find this kind of Michelin star restaurant. So it's I'm looking at collaborating with some famous chef from
Mind
somewhere.
sharing?
Yeah. Well, it's still in the planning stage
Okay.
at the moment. So so at the moment not yet
Okay.
until we firm up things. I think as part of this plan to create this Michelin star restaurant, because at the frontage of the retail, there's a 200-meter length walkway. We're creating for the first time for Malaysia a walk of fame, a star walk of fame, which is akin to Hollywood star, Hollywood Walk of Fame, and also the Hong Kong Avenue star.
Yes.
So it's something similar to that, except with a twist. In the case of Hollywood, it's all movie star. In the case of in Hong Kong, it's all movie star.
Yeah.
But in our case, it's people of prominence, celebrity status.
Okay.
Yeah. So we could possibly find celebrities like, for example, Jimmy Choo or Michelle Yeoh, who's perhaps
And they
is
will have to be
appropriate.
Malaysians or?
It does not have to be Malaysian, but people of prominence. It could be somebody from Korea side, yeah.
Okay.
And it could be somebody from China as well, or the US, or it could be David Beckham. Yeah.
Okay.
So it could be somebody of that kind of celebrity status. And I just want to highlight the Michelin star restaurants. We also have we're going to create like star collectibles where we can put perhaps the autograph of all the movie stars or the singer, and at the same time we do have collectibles of perhaps the hat or just like Hard Rock Cafe, that kind of ambience and concept.
Wow. Okay. Something to look forward to. Just looking at it, this area that you're developing is very overpopulated to begin with. What's the challenge that you're facing to sell this idea to the market?
Yeah, I think 1,500 units for the 3 towers is not too much. The fact that in KLCC, most of the units are big size unit, about approximately 80% of it, I would say. I think small size apartments, the 1 bedroom and the 2 bedrooms, does very well in anywhere, whether it's in KL or in Hong Kong or anywhere else. In terms of yield, is also higher in that sense. So I think, and the fact that it is very near to the train station and the shopping malls throughout KLCC, so it does have that advantage in that sense. Yeah. So I'm not worried about overly populated in terms of the density.
Yeah. But there's a stigma right now saying that areas around KLCC, there's a lot of houses that were bought for investment but are not being able to rent out. So your main customer focus, are they actually going to be investors who are planning to rent them out? Or are they going to be people who actually buy and stay, especially with the budget 2014 being announced related to property market?
I think so far the profile of the buyers mostly are buying for investment. I would say about 70-80%. As I mentioned earlier, most of them are like in their 40s or 50s. They would have already owned their own house. So therefore, in anywhere again in the world, most of the apartments, because the sizes is small, 600 over to about 700 over square feet, the 1 bedroom and 2 bedrooms. These are the unit that is most rentable in that sense. So we are looking at, the investors are looking at a yield of minimum about 6%. So I think this would suit them very well.
Okay.
And most of the companies, would give their expats the region of 3,000 to 6,000 in that kind of category.
Yeah.
So for the bite-sized units that we have, I think the 3,005 to about 5,000, that would suit that market segment very, very well.
Okay, so you don't foresee this being something like a giant white elephant, because I mean you're going to inject a lot of excitement there, which is actually very good. But then again, a lot of those properties around that area are also being valued lower compared to the price of the pre-sale price.
Right.
How are you going to manage something like that for your property?
Okay, if you look at the recent launches around that area, Four Seasons, of course, that is branded.
Yes.
They're looking at selling the remaining at 3,500 and above per square foot. There are some other developers like Roma by Eureka.
Yeah.
It's going for about like 2,000 to 3,000 for the hotel segment. Yeah. I think for our project, pricing from 1,005 onwards is competitive and reasonably priced, given the government recent ruling. So we're a bit cautious there, but I think the price is reasonable for that location and the fact that it's a small size unit.
Yeah. So, and the maintenance charge, because now with a lot of people tightening their belts, what's the maintenance like?
The maintenance is about 40 to 45 cents per square foot. For a small size unit like ours, we are talking about $250, $300 monthly. Yeah. So I think it's not too much from out of pocket,
Yeah, and that's pretty much the rate going around that area anyways. Yeah. Okay, cool. When will this property be ready? Completed, because I'm excited to see a Michelin star restaurant. When will it be ready?
Because it's a huge development. It's probably one of the tallest amongst all the buildings there in terms of residential. 61 stories is a high tall story.
Almost as tall as KLCC.
Not far away from that, and that would take approximately about 5 years to complete, because we have 4-level basement as well. So that would take a bit of time, and also the tall story. So 5 years from, we are looking at May next year to construct. So that's the starting point, from May next year, and then 5 years from that.
Okay, so by 2020 we would have this ready.
Well, first half of 2019 will be completed. We're looking at that.
Well, at this moment, there's a lot of hype with regards to the electricity tariff.
Right.
What's your opinion on that, and how you're going to manage your costs of building? Will you be affected?
I think so far, in terms of the increase in the cost of electricity and also the GST, that has really been factored into our costs in terms of construction.
Okay.
So I'm not worried and concerned about that at this point in time.
So there's no surprises for you in that perspective?
No surprises.
What about the DBKL assessment? Because I understand this is Central KL. I'm so sure it's under DBKL review. So what's your opinion on that with regards to your building?
The DBKL actually has been very supportive of our development so far, even in terms of the Walk of Fame, because we are doing it for the nation. They have been very supportive in terms of the mandate given to us so far. If you talk about in terms of other authorities matter, approval-wise, we have so far we do not have any issue at all in terms of getting their support and approval. And so far, I don't think it's an issue.
But the assessment is not going to be like a surprise, because the assessment hike would not be a surprise to most of investors. Would you say that?
Because we are going for a very mature segment of the market. Not just locally. I think eventually we will also bring this project overseas, especially Singapore side, and with the fast train, the G2G, Singapore and Malaysian government, and that would bring certainly a lot of value. And there's only one KLCC in Malaysia, so that I think will help. So I'm not too concerned about the height at this point in time.
Okay, so I understand you're going to have a public preview of the development this coming weekend. Can you just share a bit more about the event itself, and also how, if our viewers are interested to go, can go there?
Well, 2 weeks into our private preview, we are currently 65% take up, and therefore now we are opening up a chance to the public to have this opportunity to take a bite at this as well. So we are open on Saturday, which is tomorrow. The event is going to be held at KLCC Convention Center, 10 to 6 p.m. And you know, all are welcome.
Okay, so for our viewers who are actually interested to view this very exciting new project by Alpine, you better go and watch and go have a look at the units before they're all snapped off. So after the commercial break, we're going to take a quick commercial break. After the commercial break, we're going to have more highlights and more interesting interviews with crop profiles. See you. Yeah.